Give a fish, teach to fish, delivering hope. A Paying It Forward, self-improvement and personal development charitable community outreach initiative. Founded, supported, and funded by Denuzo Private Wealth, Inc. Thank you for joining us today. Pappy would love to get his message out to as many people as possible. And with the technology that we have available, we can speak to your organization no matter where you are in the world. As a matter of fact, he spoke to a school in Kenya, as far away as Kenya. And he would love to get his universal message across to all of you that are willing to listen. So thank you for joining us. And if you're looking for an inspirational speaker, please book Pappy to speak or book him to speak for free to your nonprofit group that would love to hear his universal message of hope, inspiration, abundance, and peace of mind. So now let's go over to Pappy to set the table for us. Hello, Pappy. How are you today?
Hey, Mikey, good morning. Namaste. The spirit of me greets the spirit in you. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank Suzanne and Mikey for helping put together everything on today's show. So thank you, Suzanne, so much. And thank you, Mikey. Yeah, that was a great point, Mikey, is that I had a great, and I've got a couple of other meetings scheduled. What I'm trying to work out with Miss Pamela in Kenya with the Freehold Primary School is working through all the kids in a certain age bracket. There's about 200 students. So you had the first class with 61 students and 4 teachers, and it went extraordinarily well. And thank goodness, like as you said, for the wonders of modern technology, being able to do a Zoom with the 7-hour time difference. They did it towards the end of the day, and it was 7:30 a.m. I started here. So it just went off fantastically well. I'll be talking about that in a little bit. Also working on some inroads with a group from the Philippines. So we can talk anywhere, anytime, so to speak. Just did a very nice presentation last week for a inner city group in Cleveland, Ohio. That was a physical one. I was able to drive to that. So again, keep us in mind. It always amazes me, Mikey, when I talk to folks, they think, okay, even areas, if people I've spoken with, they'll say, oh, well, I didn't know you could speak to this other group. And every time they mention other group, I'm like, yes, that is great. Like non-for-profit groups, our fellow brothers and sisters in need, any group, any type of group organization, anything. If we have veterans group, any group organization that needs help, I'm willing to help. And ideally, it's some type of non-for-profit group and our fellow brothers and sisters in need. So again, Mike, I always start off with greeting you and greeting everyone that the spirit of me greets the spirit in you. So I want to greet everyone to today's workshop webinar. And I always remind everyone when I mention anything regarding universal intelligence, universal source energy, universal light, source power, source energy, that you know what that is in your heart of hearts. You know who you believe the creator of the universe is, and you plug that in. I don't ever talk about religions or make any comments at that level. I keep everything as absolute as high as possible and as neutral as possible. And I always like to start off with, I am so happy and grateful now that today is a magnificent day. I am so happy and grateful now that I have painted my masterpiece today. And especially I painted my masterpiece with all of my most important tasks. We talk about our 3 most important tasks, maybe up to our 6 most important tasks. When I wake up in the morning, before I even get out of bed in the morning, I'm already giving that affirmation, and I've already nailed A+, all my most important tasks for the day. It's already a done deal. I'm already filling my way into my day. I'm already giving gratitude for that as if it is done. In my mind, it is done. Everything is created twice, once in our mind, my mind, Mikey's mind, Suzanne's mind, someone's mind. And then second, the physical object back of it is completed. So give gratitude even before you have aced your test, so to speak, and you will ace your test if you give gratitude to the universe even before it's occurred. Again, we live in a thought world within a thought universe. That's what I talk about. And I just offer suggestions. I say, take a look at your life for your health, wealth, and happiness, love, relationships, career, everything under health, wealth, and happiness, and just take a look and say, how am I doing? If you look at it from a report card perspective, and if you're not doing as well in one or some or most or all of those categories, and you've tried a lot of different techniques, a lot of different strategies, you've thrown a lot of things at the wall over the course of your life, over 20, 40, 60, 80 years or more, I just offer suggestions that there may be a different way about going about it, that you may have been approaching it from a physical perspective, from a 3D perspective, when actually we live in a thought world within a perfect and infinite thought universe. Again, I keep on pointing back to my book, Mikey. That's my main teaching tool, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. So manifest anything you can imagine. I keep pointing back to this. This is my main teaching tool. I have had it out on Audible, the audiobook for a while. People who, like myself, for example, prefer it. I like to read when I can, but I can consume more books through Audible, listening to them, than I can reading them. So manifest anything you can imagine is on Audible. And again, the genesis of this was going back 100 and some years ago when Andrew Carnegie talked to Napoleon Hill. So Think and Grow Rich, this book is credited with creating more millionaires than any other book in history. My book is a modern version of that, but I'm starting on the other end of the spectrum with our fellow brothers and sisters who don't have anything. My goal, Mikey, is to help our fellow brothers and sisters who don't have anything to grow into or reach a level of what the universe would call prosperity. Now, prosperity, Mikey, for the group I'm working with in the Philippines, who we are fortunate in the United States that our definition of poverty is higher than a lot of other countries' definition of poverty as far as what we have. And if you look at some countries, the Philippines, for example, there is abject poverty with millions and millions of our fellow brothers and sisters. So prosperity, them, Mikey, them 10xing their life to start off with, can mean that they have a nicer hut with a garden that they can grow some of their own food or vegetables, etc. That could be a level of prosperity compared to where they were before that. So that's what my goal is, to elevate all of our fellow brothers and sisters, to 10x them up to and up from the level that they're currently at. A couple of the other big pictures, Mikey, before we get started. We've talked about, I've had a number of individuals I'm teaching and coaching talk about. One woman from Kenya actually named it the Pappy effect, about how her life took off once I met her, started working with her, and had an effect on her. And it could be 21 days or 28 days. But the main thing about this, Mikey, that brought it to my attention was I was talking to a gentleman I knew for a long time, and he had always been heavier weight-wise, and he lost 30 or 40 pounds. It looked really, really good. And when I was talking with him, and we've all heard this story, but it bears repeating. When I was talking with him, Mikey, I said, man, you're looking great and everything else. What did you do? And he says, yeah, I've been like this. You haven't seen you for a few years. I've been like this for a number of years now. And he said, you know what? I tried every diet that I think that ever came out. Liquid diet, solid diet, starvation, whatever it was. He tried everything. And he said, I'd lose weight and then it would come back. And a lot of times even come back even worse. And then he said, finally, I just decided that I needed to create the proper lifestyle. And that's what I'm going to talk a lot about today, Mikey, is the manifesting lifestyle. Because people come to me, and if you go online, Mikey, and Google any of this or take a look at it, you'll see a lot of people are trying to grab people's attention with things that look like you can manifest. And you can manifest something tomorrow, don't get me wrong, but it's all about like an instant gratification. You start to manifest and you're going to have a private jet within, 7 days or 21 days or a month. You're going to have $1 billion in 6 months. And it typically doesn't work that way. Everything goes along the lines that are pre-existing, and it is a lifestyle. And that's what I'm working with everyone on. Don't just get suckered into, I'm just going to do this for 7 days or whatever else it is, or it's a so many day challenge. This is a lifestyle. And if you align yourself properly, and follow the guidance I'm giving you, it's not an if, it's not a maybe, it's nothing. It is only a when. It is going to occur. You don't worry about if or how. It is going to occur when it's going to occur, and it will all occur naturally, Mikey. So if you embed yourself in a manifesting lifestyle where you're doing the proper, what I call rituals instead of routines don't have a good vibe to them. You're doing the proper rituals every day, and you're removing bad habits every day. You're putting in good habits every day, and then you recreate yourself, and you have the proper manifesting lifestyle, and you'll be manifesting great daily goals on a regular basis. You'll be manifesting great weekly goals on a weekly basis. You'll be manifesting great monthly goals on a monthly basis, and especially the big 10x goal that we talk about, Mikey, that real big 10x goal. You'll be manifesting that over and over again. So I want you to think more of a lifestyle, not about this quick fix or silver bullet or whatever else it may be. I'll talk to individuals sometimes, Mikey, that I'm teaching and or coaching, depending on the presentation format. And they'll be like, Pappy, do I have to do this on a weekend? You know, my ritual. I mean, well, you know, do you want to breathe on the weekend? Would you like to consume food, breakfast, lunch, or dinner on the weekend? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Again, I want everybody to get within their mindset that this is a lifestyle. And again, we all know, Mikey, once we start replacing bad habits with good habits, it doesn't take any more time out of our schedule. So once you start replacing these bad habits with good habits, it's not like, oh, I'm doing this on a Saturday or Sunday. It's taking more time or effort. And the last one, Mikey, I wanted to give some feedback to the audience had a great presentation, I said, with the Freehold Primary School in Nakuru, Kenya, and did a lot of questions and answers at the end. But the one that really stuck in my mind, and again, these were students 13, 14, and 15 years of age, evenly split out of the class of 200. It's approximately 100 male, 100 female. And whenever I was asking at the end, when Miss Pamela was asking, you know, does anybody have any questions for Pappy? And it took a little bit, and then it was like a snowball, like a little mini tsunami. And he started asking questions. The hands were going. We actually didn't have enough time to take all the questions. But also, she had said, does anybody have any questions or make any comments? And we were right at the very end. We were out of time. We actually went 15 minutes over. She wanted to go over, so that was her call. And at the very end, she said, okay, we're going to wrap it up. And there was one gentleman who was sort of had his hand up, was making some noise. And she said, well, we're really done. We don't have any time for any more. And I can't remember how it was, but I said, you know, Miss Pamela, or she had said, there's one more. Can we take one more? And I said, yes, let's take one more. And the gentleman said he did not have a question, but he just had a comment. And I said, yes, can you please share with us what your comment is? He said, what I learned today and what I've got out of this today, what I've taken away, my takeaway is that imagination is everything. I couldn't sum it up anymore right there. We could end today's show with just that thought, that imagination is everything. All Albert Einstein talked about was imagination. The universe says that Albert Einstein was the greatest at what he did. He was up there in the top 1% of quantum physicists and everything else, but his imagination is what made him special. So Albert Einstein said, imagination is a preview of coming attractions in your life. Please pay attention. So imagination is everything. I couldn't sum that up any better than that young teenager did from Nakuru, Kenya, on the class last week. So imagination is everything. That's a very strong concept for us all to keep in our mind, in our mindset.
Wow, that's awesome. It's nice you stayed those extra 15 minutes. Otherwise, you wouldn't have heard, you know, out of the mouth of babes, they say. For him to say something like that, that's just before that negativity and all that stuff comes into their mind, that he would say that. And hopefully, you know, that will continue to grow in him. And I just think that with the 21-day Pappy effect, I love that phrase, first of all. But like you were saying, you know, everyone has a different timeline. And so just think, if you do that, if you do it 21 days, 20, you know, up to 90 days, like you said, it becomes a lifestyle. Like, you want to do that. And I just think that's so important. And speaking of, you know, the Pappy effect, the positivity, we do send out a weekly email with 2 concepts to live by. Remembering that repetition is key so it's great to be able to go to these emails, look at them, read them. Pappy has so many positive messages to send to us. And he wants to talk about 2 concepts to live by today.
Yes, Mikey. Yeah, we'll pick 2 out of our list today. Thank you so much. I'm going to start with perception, Mikey. I talk a lot about, you know, I love Wayne Dyer. God bless Wayne Dyer, who contributed an awful lot to us for mind, body, and spirit. And Wayne Dyer had a famous quote that said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And there was a situation, I use situations, business situations and numbers, because sometimes, Mikey, those are easy for people to understand. And there was a situation, and just think about this. There was at least 1,000 experts. We'll just say this occurred, I'm not going to be too specific, somewhere on planet Earth, somewhere across the globe. There was 1,000 experts in a certain field, and it was a very high technical specialist field. And at least 1,000 individuals at this level. Mikey, there might have been 10,000 or more, but there was over 1,000. And this one individual out of 1,000 looked at, and this is what they all do for a living, Mikey, what they're doing and touching, like what they do in their day job, you know, Monday through Friday, and even working sometimes on weekends. And he looked at it and he saw something. And he said, I see, if I take something from here, put it together over there, change this around a little bit, bundle this up, add a little bit, etc., that there is massive value here that's sitting right in front of me. He bundled that up, Mikey, what he does for a living, what these other thousands of professionals do for a living. He put it together, something they're all looking at and touching every day. They all had access to the same information, Mikey, the same assets, etc. So he sort of grew this out of the soil, so to speak, and he sold it. And how much did he sell it for, Mike? He sold it for over $1 billion. Just changing the way you look at things. There was $1 billion sitting in front of thousands and thousands of extraordinarily intelligent people, and none of them saw it. This person saw it. So now that's pretty impressive, right? Okay. It gets sold to another person. The other person who, let's say in plain English, wrote a check, paid person A over $1 billion for this. They turned around and sold it, I think, within 12 months later, Mikey. How much did they sell it for? Approximately $20 billion. Same thing. Same exact thing. The same thing that's sitting in front of thousands and thousands of people that none of them saw. This one individual saw the value, like their light bulb went off, so to speak. They were using their mind, using their imagination, using their thoughts, etc., and came up with this and created basically $1 billion plus out of nothing. And then another individual who looked at it again, and again, the whole world had access to this to take a look at it, saw the value of putting that together in another sort of different package, but that was the essence of it. And the value was $20 billion. So the moral of this story, Mikey, is that there could be something as valuable as $20 billion sitting in front of any of the 8 billion people who are on this planet Earth. And it could be with health, it could be wealth, happiness, career, love, relationships. I mean, put that on whatever parameter you want to, however you want to look at it, that there's something astronomically better right in front of you. Just use your imagination, take a good look at it, open your mind, allow it to come in, give gratitude, visualize with emotion your goal in gratitude and take action. And you can create $1 billion out of sort of nothing, and even $20 billion out of $1 billion. But the main point is $20 billion out of basically nothing that thousands of people had access to. So on perception, I can't think of a better example than that, Mikey, the value that's sitting in front of all of us. The next one is perpetual increase of life. We could dedicate shows, plural, to perpetual increase of life. And to me, Mikey, this is one of the most positive and heartwarming universal laws that I could possibly think of. And again, the suggestion I offer to everyone, Mikey, is we live in a thought world within a perfect and infinite thought universe, all governed under perfect and infinite universal laws. And I call the largest one at the very top the law of energy. Every single thing, the desk that someone's sitting at, the concrete floor that they're standing on, the trees outside, the metal in their car is all full of energy and is vibrating. So the law of energy, the law of vibration, the main one that we talk about that people love is the law of attraction, the law of as above, so below, the law of cause and effect, also referred to as the law of karma, and the one we're talking about today, the law of perpetual increase of life. So we are here to further express, expand, increase, and grow. That's the purpose. That's why we're here, to further express, expand, increase, and grow. And in plain English, enjoy yourself, enjoy life, enjoy your health, enjoy your wealth, enjoy your career, enjoy your loved ones, your relationships, enjoy to be happy. Happiness is baked into the goal for the system by universal intelligence. And it's baked in at the most basic level of that it is a universal law of the perpetual increase of life. So this is when I talk, Mikey, when anyone reads in my book, when I talk about go with the flow, getting in harmony, allowing it to come in, be present, be conscious, be aware, to allow this to come into you and flow with you. And anyone could just imagine, Mikey, if you are looking at a stream that is going to where you want to walk to. And if it's 10 miles away, and if this stream is moving with a pretty nice flow, and you take a look, there's a path along that walking to the location, to the town that you're going to go to and pitch your tent at night and stay at. How long does it take you to walk there? And there's a raft right next to this stream. What if you just place that, you get in this raft, get in the stream, and allow that water just to carry you there? It's 100 times easier, more enjoyable, less hassle and everything else. So go with the flow, understand where it's at. But the universe has open arms for all of us to embrace, and co-create is the key word, to co-create with all the ability that's out here in the universe for us to further express, expand, increase, and grow, and get in harmony with the perpetual increase of life, with the universal law, perpetual increase of life. None more important. There's a number, Mikey, I consider to be at a tie for number one. That one is at the very top.
Oh, I love that. And it's so simple, enjoy life and go with the flow. Like, how much easier can that get, So,
Yes.
and also I love the example that you gave for perception. Basically what you're saying is the way you see the world is how it's going to come back to you. So if you see things negatively, you're going to, you're going to see things negatively. But if you adopt that positive mindset, you can transform the way you see things. And basically you're telling us that the universe, is friendly, but to always think positively like that, it does take some practice. And I know that's why you're always willing to give us some manifest coaching tips on how to manifest the law of attraction. And you have a couple for us today?
Yeah, Mikey, and thank you. And it just reminds me, when you mentioned about the universe and friendly, it reminds me again, Albert Einstein to me was the math doctor of all math doctors. But you read the quotes that he had, just dozens and dozens and dozens. One of Albert Einstein's famous quotes is, one of the most important things in your life that's going to determine your success is how you answer the following question. And they said, what's that question, Mr. Einstein? Do you believe that the universe is friendly? Just your perspective. We could call it in plain English, do you look at the world as the glass being half full or half empty? But it's a lot higher and a lot larger glass than just being half full or half empty. This universe is structured with universal laws that is open, willing, engaging, and dying to co-create with us for you to live your best life, the life of your dreams. So yes, the glass is more than half full. Ask yourself that question. Do you believe the universe is friendly? You want to answer that with a resounding yes, and you want to get to that point. The next one, Mikey, on today's coaching tip, our focus today is on emotions and feelings. So we talk about visualizing, but visualizing is powerful. And I talk about my Vega coin for Pappy Mindset Coach. Visualize with emotion your goal in gratitude and take action. So this is really number 2 on the Vega coin. And this is how I coach and teach Mikey on a daily basis. I say, feel your way into your day. So we start up in the morning when we're thinking about what are our 3 most important tasks, 4 or 5, usually a maximum of 6. How are we going to approach that? Let's feel our way into our day. And I want to let everyone know how important it is. So when we visualization, Bob Proctor used to say that feelings and emotions are the yeast that raise the dough. So let's think we're visualizing, there's a vibration coming out of us, and we apply our positive emotions and feelings to it, and that takes that vibration up through the roof, Mikey. And we want to be sending out the highest vibration possible. Think of it, if you're looking to earn money and you send out this average vibration, whatever country you're in, let's just say, to pick a number, in the United States, this is $40,000, the vibration you're sending out that's average. You're sending out a $40,000, you're visualizing or thinking where you're at right now, or elevate that, apply emotion and feelings to it, high emotions, high feelings, genuine emotions, genuine feelings, and raise it up to 60,000, 80,000, 100,000, take it to whatever level you want to. Albert Einstein said it's not philosophy, it's physics. If you elevate your vibration and frequency to a certain level, you must achieve what is on that level. It has to happen. Again, it's not philosophy. This is physics. So again, emotion and feelings are so important. And I think we start at the very beginning of the day, even when I'm lying in bed, I am so happy and grateful now that today is a magnificent day. And I try to put as much emotion and feeling into that as possible. When I say I am so happy and grateful now that I have created my masterpiece today, I have painted my masterpiece today, doing that with a lot of emotion and feeling. I also apply emotions and feelings to our gratitude. The universe says, Mikey, that if you could think about this, you could call it heaven on earth. If we can get our mind around the fact that we can manifest anything we can imagine, we have true creative power within us. Every listener, every one of the 8 billion plus brothers and sisters of ours on planet Earth have true creative power within them. True creative power. Then you can start to think to yourself, I am never going to give up my heaven on earth. And you can also think to yourself how grateful you are. So the universe was offering us all these wonderful opportunities. The sort of table stakes, Mikey, or standard expectation is for us to give gratitude before, give gratitude during, and give gratitude after. And proper gratitude, Mikey, is what we're talking about here with emotion and feelings. To do it at a high rate, with a high emotion, with high feelings, in plain English, very genuine. We're invested in it. It's a very genuine gratitude that we're giving. But just filling your way into your day, starting up in the morning and using your feelings. How do you want to feel after that meeting? Applying your feelings to gratitude, applying your feelings to appreciation after you've achieved your goal, applying feelings and emotions to after one of your most important tasks for the day is completed, and it's an A plus, the way that you visualized it and or emotionally leaned into it in advance earlier that week, earlier that morning. Give that strong emotion and feeling and gratitude about that. And as above, Mikey, so below. If we think of what we send out must come back. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Send out that great love, emotion, and feelings, and equal to that or greater is going to come back to you. And that's the engine that gets keep on putting, that's the fuel that gets keep on being placed in your engine to have you. I always talk about Italian sports cars. I love Italian sports cars. That is going to have that Italian sports car running like nothing else on planet Earth. So emotions and feelings, a mission critical, important part of your day for you to manifest anything you can imagine.
That's great. So how you're feeling is basically going to guide your day. So you wake up in the morning, you think this is going to be a great day, you're going to have a great day. And you have to truly, truly believe it. You have to affirm that. And I know that you do your daily affirmations as well. So I am so happy and grateful now that, what are some of yours?
Yeah, Mikey, you're real good at leading me into another thought. What you were just saying there was about the feelings and emotions. So we can also use those, Mikey, as a litmus test, because a lot of times people tell me, Pappy, I understand how important imagination is and ideas and thinking and thought, and I'm just not sure how I'm thinking. I mean, am I in a good zone or not, or what have you? And I'll say that the litmus test for that, Mikey, is how are you feeling? So let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're feeling like, let's say a 3, you're feeling below average, that's telling you how you're thinking, because your thinking is what starts the whole domino effect. So that is enough to give you pause right there and say, let me maybe do a little meditation, whatever else is going to be for me to do some course correction, but pay very close attention, because your feelings are a direct litmus test and direct feedback as to how and what you were thinking. So on the affirmations, Mikey, I think, a great one we had for today was, and we always start out affirmations with I am, and we start with I am, so we're recognizing this creative power within you. Every one of our 8 billion plus brothers and sisters on planet Earth, Mikey, have this creative power within them. They have this perfect spiritual spark that they can manifest anything they can imagine. So we'll always start off with that recognition and gratitude. I am so happy and grateful now, and it's always now. There is no past. There is no future. We always want to be present. We want to be aware, and we want to be conscious. So I am so happy and grateful now that I know in my heart of hearts that this is the process through which I co-create, and my thought form impression is given to the formless substance, and universal intelligence creative forces are set in motion for my benefit. I talk in my book, Mikey, universal intelligent formless thinking substance It is everywhere. This universal power is all around us. 99.9999, keep on going, percent of the entire universe, Mikey, is not a physical structure. It's space. It seems like it's emptiness, but it's not emptiness. This formless thinking substance in every atom, molecule, etc., is right in front of us and ready and willing and able for us with our thoughts to start this awesome, unbelievable chain of events to manifest anything we can imagine.
Wow, that is awesome. To think that the universe is like creating positive things just for us, for me. That's
Yes.
a pretty powerful thought. So
Yeah, and
so
many
now,
people, Mikey, on that point, did you just make, Mikey? And that's a big hurdle that I need to get, or I get to get over with people I'm teaching and coaching. They'll just be two of my biggest roadblocks, Mikey, when I talk to folks. It's quite interesting. Is two of the biggest ones I run into is they'll be, Pappy, I just don't think there's that much positiveness out there for me. I don't think that, why would anyone love me, or who would care about me, or why would the universe or creator have all this set up for me that's all like ready, willing, and able, all just sitting out there waiting for me to engage with it and co-create. So if you think about that one, Mikey, it's somewhat ironic that I'm telling someone, yes, it's a lot better out there than you think it is. And they're like, no, it's not, Pappy. And I'm like, yes, it's a lot better out there for you than you think it is, for you to engage with it and manifest anything you can imagine. Then the other one, Mikey, on the flip side is that individuals think that they don't have any power, that there's nothing special about them, that they don't have the ability. And that's the other flip side of it, is that they do. I mean, being given creative power and a perfect spiritual spark, I mean, you can't have more assets or more anything more positive on planet Earth than what we have inside of us. And I say, if we're standing out in a wheat field and that wheat is up to our waist, if someone's standing, there's not another human being for 100 miles around, you're standing naked in a wheat field, and this wheat field goes on for acres and acres and acres, and it's just you still have every single thing you need to manifest anything you can imagine. You don't have to own a home. You don't have to own a car. You don't have to wait till you get $10,000 in the bank. You have everything inside of you to start manifesting anything you can imagine and start to 10x your life. You have this inside of you to start co-creating with the universal intelligence and manifest anything you can have and live the life of your dreams, the life of your wishes, starting today.
awesome. And that does take time and practice. Like you mentioned before, your paradigm starts way back before you're even 6 years old. So it takes time for people to think that way, to think that positive mindset. So now we've come to the part of our podcast where our listeners can submit questions. And if you have a question for Pappy, you can go to our website and click on the Ask Pappy link at the top. And our first question today is, can anyone use manifesting to attract their personal desires?
Well, this one, I sound like one of my grade school teachers here, Mike. I'm thinking that if you've been paying attention, I already answered this one. So yeah, just by your dialogue and my conversation back and forth, that's really funny. We've answered a lot of this one, but just to review, can anyone use manifesting to attract their personal desires? Yes, absolutely anyone. Absolutely anyone. I had a presentation I mentioned in Cleveland last weekend to a group within the city, and there were younger individuals. Again, there was a few adults there, and these young individuals were soaking us up like a sponge, Mikey. They were, I asked them first to start off with, what would you like to do with your life? What would you like to be? And there were great answers. I want to be a veterinarian. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a WNBA basketball player. I want to be a professional volleyball player. I want to be a writer, an actor, actress, etc. It was just wonderful. I said it was like, for their ages and everything, one of the most aspirational audiences I've ever talked to. So yes, anyone, doesn't matter where you're at. And again, when I said the group I spoke to in Kenya, it doesn't matter. I told them, you're in Kenya, 4 hours outside of a major city. Yes, you can manifest anything that you desire, what your personal desires are. And we talk about that as our goal. So we think about that. We use our imagination, we're using our dreams and our thoughts, and we identify what we want. And that want is our goal. So we identify what we want, and that is our goal. So that's your personal desire. And Mikey, it could be anything. It could be anything related with health, anything with wealth, happiness, career, relationships, love. It could be a new bicycle. It could be a new purse. I mean, it can literally be anything of your personal desires. That there's very few rules, Mikey, in manifesting that are restrictive. And they're real easy. And we can imagine just from common sense what they may be. We can never attempt to manifest anything that would take anything away from a fellow brother or sister of ours. We can't do that. We also can never attempt to manifest anything that would harm a fellow brother or sister of ours. And of course, the real big one, Mikey, is, it goes without saying, but I'll mention it. You can never attempt to manifest and perpetrate evil or anything close to that on one of your fellow brothers and sisters. As long as you're not trying to take anything away, Mikey, from one of your fellow brothers and sisters or harm them in any way, you can manifest anything you can imagine. The universe wants you. You didn't have a home, now you have one, and then you want to have a nicer home. You can have a nicer home. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. If you do it, Mikey, if you're genuine and manifest, if you're genuine and manifest with a humble heart, anyone can manifest and attract to them any personal desire that they have. That's a great question.
Awesome. Would you like to, do you have time for one more?
Yeah, let's do one more, please.
Okay. What role does belief, action, and positive thinking play in the manifesting process?
Yeah, so belief and action, positive thinking is a real big one. I'll go with belief and action first, Mikey, just letting our audience know. In my book, I modeled it sort of after my Italian grandma's marinara recipe. In my book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, I modeled it after my Italian grandma Rose's marinara recipe. There's so many ingredients in a recipe. And in my book, I have 15 key ingredients. Now, all of us are stronger at some things than others. And we'll find that in my 15 key ingredients, you're really strong on these 3 and using them, and you're pretty good on the other 5, or just whatever the combinations are. But at the beginning, Mikey, when we're all learning this, because 99% of my fellow brothers and sisters who come to me, I start talking with, are initially coming to me from a 3D perspective. They're thinking they're in a physical world, and that's how things work. They don't understand the power of their mind and their mindset to be able to use their mind and their thoughts to manifest anything they can imagine. So belief is at the very beginning of the process. And that's when I said, Mikey, about how the rich abundance that is in the universe for each of us, that's ready, willing, able, and available right in front of us. The universe is almost screaming, Mikey, all day long, come and get it, come and get it. Just whatever it is, health, wealth, happiness, whatever you want, come and get it. It's right here. So I want to get you to a level where you've got a 100% belief. And ideally, Mikey, where I want to get all of our brothers and sisters to, the level I want to get them to is not just 100% belief, but when you get that high of belief, when you get to the level that you know it, I know this. There's no question. I don't need to believe anymore. I know this is true. We have to take action. I love another great book I've got. One of my top 10 is The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. She's just tremendous. She's contributed so much to mind, body, and spirit. And although The Secret was a phenomenal book, it doesn't talk quite as much about action. So that's why I talk about our 3 most important tasks, our 6 most important tasks. We need to take action. We get to take action to complete the physical back of our goal that we're visualizing with emotion to manifest. We need to complete the physical back of it. It's created twice, first in our mind and then the physical back of it. When we need action to be able to do that. Positive thinking, Mikey, gets back to the last one here, the last part of this question. Positive thinking gets back to what you and I were talking about earlier. It's all about your lifestyle. So positive thinking will just come into your lifestyle. So what's positive thinking a result of, Mikey? You can only have one thought in your mind at any one point in time. And there's certain zones that you can only be in one zone or the other. So in order to manifest, Mikey, we need to be in the creative zone. So there's a fork in the road we come to. You can either go to this side that's creative or the other side that's competitive. Always we want to take the turn that leads us towards creative. So creative versus competitive. So I have this in my book, CAFPA, C-A-F-P-A. The A is for abundance instead of scarcity. We always want to be thinking in a mindset of abundance. We don't want to think that we can't look at someone and say, I can't afford it. We never want that thought to go through our head. You can afford that. There is some way to do that. Don't ever give yourself anything restricting. So you always want to be in a mindset of abundance. And if you believe it in advance, Mikey, and you are 100% committed and you give gratitude for it in advance, it will be delivered to you as long as you take action. We said earlier. And the last one is faith or fear. Faith or fear, to me, Mikey, are the most interesting, because when you come to that fork in the road, you typically have less than 10% knowledge of whatever topic it is, whatever challenge, obstacle, problem, so to speak, that you're facing. You may have only 5% information. You may have only 1% information. So you're going here, you said, I can have faith, or I can go move forward in faith or move forward in fear. And the super majority of our brothers and sisters, Mikey, move forward in fear. And that completely takes all the air out of the ball for manifesting. I say, if you're going to err on any side, there's very, very little fact, so to speak. Always err on the side. Always choose that pathway of faith, and you will manifest anything you can imagine. But always be in a mindset of faith, never fear.
Great advice. So practice and repetition are key, but you also have to believe, be creative, and have faith that it's going to happen. That's very powerful. Yeah. And I know that you like to start every day or you suggest that every day, ideally, we should read one page out of your book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. Of course, some people don't have time to do that, and they can listen to the audiobook while they're driving, but they can also just open up your book and read one of your inspirational quotes that you'd like to share with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Mikey. And I say, once you learn how to manifest, then you can branch out and start studying different things and adding on to your body of knowledge. But what I found, Mikey, is that if someone's trying to learn how to manifest, if they, no pun intended, but if they get this vibration, they get on this frequency, and they're starting to investigate it, you can go out and look at 5 pieces of information, and they are going to tell you maybe 5 completely different pathways or thoughts or whatever have you. You can look at 10 and may have 10 completely different ideas. So I know this works. I know what I'm presenting to you works. And if you follow this until you learn how to manifest, then you can branch out from there. So it's nothing self-serving about the book, or there's not like a narcissistic perspective. I know it works. My book, I kept it as plain and simple as possible. It's not an enormous book. It's easy to digest. It's easy to internalize, and it's easy to go back over and over. I go through different areas, Mikey, even just like the last couple of mornings when I was getting ready, when I was shaving in the bathroom, I'm playing from the end, like chapter 17 through like the last couple of summaries in The Secret, etc. So I'm listening to this over and over, and our listeners will be surprised, Mikey, when they read or they listen to the audiobook. I mean, I've done it. It can be hundreds of times. You'll hear it from it. What might be the 200th time, you'll say, wow, that's a great point. I never heard that before. I don't ever recall reading that before. I mean, it's been in there, but you're taking in so much information. You're processing a lot of new information. So that's why repetition is the key. So the quote we're focusing on today, the one that you pulled out for our audience, I appreciate that, from chapter 9. When visualizing your goal, your emotion should be at a high vibration at the same level as that of a child's on Christmas morning. To manifest, you must join with your inner child and forget what you have been taught and become one with your inner child of imagination. And that's just so powerful, Mikey. There's so many powerful thoughts. I'll just unpack this a little bit. So again, we're using visualization. That's very powerful. Of all of our 5 senses, sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch, our visualization for the average human being is by far and away the most powerful sense. So we use that when we're manifesting. When visualizing your goal with emotion, again, remember we said earlier, Mikey, we told the audience, emotion is the yeast that raises the dough. So you're visualizing your goal with emotion. And I give you an example, and I can't think of any easier way, any more pragmatic way to explain it, that I want you to be at a high vibration, the same as that of a child's on Christmas morning. When you're anticipating Santa Claus, whatever the belief system is, that Santa Claus came, you have a gift, it's under the tree, you're 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, and your excitement, you're almost like vibrating yourself. You're so excited on Christmas morning. Then the next sentence says, to manifest, you must join with your inner child. So Mikey, that's where we're all trying to get back to. we were the purest versions of ourselves right after we're born for years, up to years 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 8, 7. And in that age, how we would feel as a child on Christmas morning, that's our inner child within us, using our imagination, very positive, all these wonderful things that we're trying to get back to as adults. And you have to forget what you're talking, Mike. You had mentioned earlier the point about the first 6 or 7 years of our life. I talk about that circle for our mind with the line through it, conscious mind on top and subconscious mind in the bowl down below. There was no shield or lid on top for the conscious mind. Our subconscious mind was wide open. So thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of suggestions were offered into and placed into our subconscious mind. And that's what we're doing now that we know what the rules of the game are. We're going in, we're taking those out, those bad thoughts, bad habits, putting in good thoughts, good habits, and we now are in control. So we want to continue to place in good habits, taking out bad habits, and get back to our inner child of imagination. And I think, Mikey, we're going to end the show, come close to ending the show. You'll wrap it up, I know, but we're sort of coming close to ending it how we started. So we're telling all of our fellow brothers and sisters to become one with your inner child of imagination. And what did that young gentleman from Kenya say a week or week and a half ago in the class that I had with them? We want you to become one with your inner child of imagination. And that young gentleman said, what I got out of everything here, what I've learned and what I'm taking away is imagination is everything. It's the same exact thing. Your inner child of imagination, that's exactly what he identified. He said, what I learned is imagination is everything.
Well, we've come full circle. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, wow, we started the show talking about the quote from the child from Kenya, and then you end the show with this quote from your book. I mean, that just says so much about really what manifesting is. It is your imagination, and you can create anything that you want. So I think that's a great way to end the show. And I want to thank you so much for spending your time with us today. And if you're new to Pappy Mindset Coach, be sure you're signed up on pappymindsetcoach.com to receive Pappy's free educational emails and get access to upcoming live events conducted by Pappy to help you manifest the health, wealth, happiness, love, life, and success that you desire and deserve. Thank you, Pappy.
Thank you so much, Mikey. Thanks, Suzanne. Thank you.